Hi, and welcome to Something to Talk About. I'm Linda McNamee, and I'm dropping my notes all over the set. But thank you for tuning in this evening. As you saw from our title, it's going to be a bit of a mystery, but it makes complete sense that our topic for tonight is living golden. So it kind of incorporates healthy living and the Girl Scout Gold Award. So we're going to learn about two topics tonight. But before we get into that wonderful topic that you will be so interested and so enthusiastic about, I would like to thank the crew for this evening. Jen Dodge, Executive Director here, who is helping us out just because everybody, it's crazy life. So she's holding down the fort all by herself. So very impressive, and I really appreciate everything that she does with the rest of the staff here at BCAT. I would also like to thank Christina Nikitas, Gwyneth McNamee, Evan McNamee, and Lucian Gates for giving up their evening to come hang out at BCAT and help with the show. Their dedication to BCAT is very heartwarming. No pun intended about the heart thing. Anyway, I would also like to thank my husband, Paul, who is not staying home for Daddy Date Night, but he is keeping the home front safe while the kids and I are here at BCAT. If you have a question or a suggestion for a future topic after tonight's show, you are always welcome to email me at talk@bcattv.org. Numbers there, always will be, or the emails there, always will be. So you know how to find me. Housekeeping aside, I would like to welcome my wonderful guest, Bianca Tiwari. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
I meant to ask you before and I forgot. And you are a Girl Scout Gold Award candidate and a junior in high school.
Correct.
Cool. Well, we're going to find out more about both of those. So welcome.
Thank you.
Before we really get into what a Gold Award is and your Girl Scout career, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? We already know you're high school. Did I say junior?
Yeah. I'm a
okay,
junior.
you're already a high school junior. But other than Girl Scouts in school, are there any other interests or hobbies? And what are your plans for after high school?
So yeah, as you said, I'm in 11th grade in high school. Some other things I like to do outside of school is swimming. I'm actually now captain of my swim team for the upcoming season. So I definitely love to swim. It's always been one of my favorite things to do.
Do you have a favorite stroke?
Yeah, I love freestyle, and I'm beginning to like backstroke more.
Okay.
But yeah, it's kind of like a hate-love kind of thing. But yeah, I also have picked up gardening a lot since COVID, so it's definitely something I keep along and I do every day a little bit. So
now, are you able to have like your garden at home, or do you like work with the community garden, or just like a little desktop garden in your kitchen or something?
I have like a little garden outside of my backyard, just like your random fruits and vegetables, and then I have some in my room, like just random plants that just like house plants that I like to keep up. But yeah,
we used to have a home garden, or like a garden outside in our yard, and then the woodchucks found it. So I have given up all hope of growing anything that can be consumed, because the woodchuck always gets it first. So let's start talking about your Girl Scout career. Oh wait, we didn't finish. What do you want to do after high school?
Yeah, so as we'll learn more about later through my Girls Award, I do want to get a double degree in college, hopefully in business, and either in pre-medicine or something in health sciences.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You're ambitious.
Yes.
Even one of those is hard.
Yeah.
And you're going to I could do both. Impressive. So we were talking earlier, you have been a Girl Scout since 2nd grade.
Yep.
It's a long time. What made you decide to become involved in Girl Scouts?
Yeah, so in second grade, I was obviously really young, and it was something that a lot of my friends were doing. So I wanted to join too because I wanted to hang out with my friends, but I discovered that Girl Scouts was like a lot more than just hanging out with your friends because there were so many activities that we did, and there was like a lot to learn about, and a lot that I learned about friendship, and that's what kind of made me continue Girl Scouts, and every year I wanted to do it again and again. So
Oh,
that's
cool.
why.
So, what was it about friendships, like how to be a good friend, or
Yeah, it was kind of like, I don't know if I want to say like civic responsibility, like, but like just having respect and responsibility and earnest friendships and being a good friend.
Oh,
It was really
cool.
nice.
Did you do any badge work?
Yeah, we did like a lot of badges. Like all sorts of stuff. We did like a ton of first aid stuff. We've done stuff on gardening, stuff on like a lot of my interests. So I really like doing that. I thought that through every badge, I learned something new, and the fact that I got to work with my troop and I had a great leader. I have a great leader. Made me love the badges, and I always loved earning them because once you get one and you put them on your vest, it's like you've accomplished something great, and it's definitely something that made me want to keep going.
I love it.
Scouts.
Cool. So, I think you kind of already answered my next question about what keeps you coming back and involved. And, not to do my little commercial, but what is really cool about Girl Scouts is you can actually make it what you want it to be. If you wanted to just develop those friendships and those interpersonal relationships, you can do that. But if you wanted to earn the badges, you could. And it sounds like you're kind of doing a mix of both.
Yes.
Cool. So let's go a little bit deeper on some of the life skills. You talked about the interpersonal relationships. What you do with your friends in Girl Scouts, how is that comparable to outside of, of Girl Scouts?
Yeah, so for as long as I can remember in Girl Scouts, we've done our journeys, and they're basically these like books, as you know. And like the one I just recently finished was So What, but yeah, basically I remember probably my favorite one was a one about water. I thought it was just really interesting because I never thought about water so detailed, but um, the way these journeys are set up, it's like you have like small tasks to do, like just a little bit of research, and then it progresses and it gets further on, and then you're talking to people, you're encouraged to talk to people who know much more about it, ask questions, and do like your own little bigger tasks to, and the kind of like the planning and preparation and organization that goes into a journey kind of like gives you the skill to use later on in life, like starting from small tasks and going to big tasks and accomplishing something big in total, which would be like completing the journey and acquiring all this new knowledge and making something of it, was definitely something that, life skills I've learned through Girl Scouts.
Cool. Yeah, the journeys, my understanding is they're like the three keys to leadership. Discover, so you discover something, you connect, you make that connection so you can relate to it. So, like the water journey, you probably learned about the importance of fresh water. I'm guessing we never did that journey. And then take action is, okay, with this knowledge that I now have, how can I act to make a difference in the world? And what are some of the bigger projects that you have done as take action projects? Either through a journey, or I know we'll get into it later in more detail, but you also earned your bronze and your silver awards leading up to the pinnacle.
Yeah, so like journey wise, we'd like we'd go to like facilities. I remember, I think this was with the water journey, but I remember we helped like pick up trash at like the Burlington Reservoir.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like that was like a big project to do, and it definitely, like with the knowledge that we got from the journey, we used that, and we were like, oh, we could help clean our local like reservoir, and that would be a way of accomplishing our needed tasks in the journey. But yeah, for the bronze and silver award, those are definitely like bigger projects that we did, and you tackle on like much more of a community, and like, and it's more creative. Like it's not, it's less structured, but you get to make it what you want it to be.
Right.
But
There's
yeah,
no like specific topic that you have to focus on. It's like, okay, looking around my world, this is an issue. And this is an issue I want to learn more about and I want to fix.
right.
So what did you do for bronze? Do you remember?
Yes. So for our bronze award, my troop and I, we focused on what we liked most, which was pets. Something everybody loves, but yeah. Um, and we went to a pet shelter. I think it was PetSmart, and
Okay.
basically we visited them and we asked them questions about how their adoption process works, and we realized that a lot of pets, like, they don't get adopted, but
So you went home with 40 cats that day?
I wish. I only have one, but I wish I had 40.
No,
but
you don't.
yeah, so yeah, we went there and we learned more about how pets get adopted. And then we basically had, from what I remember, like, I think we did like a little project on that, and we were like, we presented to some people about like adopting pets, like if you do adopt pets, the importance of like spays and neuters, and how to, if you see like pets in the wild, like
Okay.
cats and dogs where they shouldn't be, like you need to call someone so that they can
Right.
get protected and they can be like checked by a vet and make sure that they're safe and they can get adopted and be in a home after that. And then to go along with that, we made these bags with like we made trees for cats and dogs. I think it was just cats.
Okay.
Cat treats, and then we made like blankets for them, and these are all in bags. So when someone came to adopt them at the PetSmart,
like
they
a
would get
kitty
like,
starter kit.
yeah, they would get basically a kitty starter.
That is so
kit.
awesome.
Yeah, so
I
that
would
was
still go home with like all the cats.
yeah,
But
that was our bronze award. It was really fun, and because of our bronze award, it made me want to participate in the silver award,
Okay.
which I thought it was a little, it was with dogs this time, and cats. It was with people, so we focused on like something, especially like in the beginning of high school, like end of middle school is when it was. We focused on mental health awareness specifically, and because it's a really big issue that's
well,
impacting our
also
community.
about the time that you were in starting high school. This was no silver is when you were in middle school. You were probably about, was that about the time we went into COVID?
Yeah, it was. I was in 8th grade, but I think
It was the end of your 7th grade year.
so it was
is
like
when,
on the verge.
and mental health became
A big crisis. So I'm really glad we did it.
big.
For that reason.
So yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, but
No, you're-
continue. So
Yeah.
mental health, yep.
So it was on mental health awareness, and like a couple of kids in my troop, we picked a illness that we wanted to talk more about and research about. And I did OCD, I remember, but I know another girl in my troop, they did depression, we did identity crisis, and we also came to VCAT, and we filmed mini segments of each, and then we created like a brochure that we would hand out to people, and we mailed to
Cool.
people that would like give them awareness of mental illnesses, and like obviously places to contact if you need help
Okay.
and whatever. So yeah.
Now, did you have to partner with like a mental health expert?
Yeah.
And how did you find that person?
We did a lot of researching, and we found some local people in Burlington who knew a lot about mental illnesses, who work as therapists, and we definitely interviewed them a lot, and we asked them more. We gathered information from them that we presented on, and they were really helpful. And yeah.
So, just for people who may not be familiar with bronze and silver, bronze is targeting 4th and 5th graders, and they can work in like groups of 8, roughly.
Yeah, I think so.
Like 5 to 10 somewhere, where they work on a project together. So they start learning the leadership skills, but they have a big support system. Once you accomplish that, when you move into middle school, so 6th, 7th, and 8th grade is the silver award, where instead of a group of 8, you're down to like a group of 3 or 4, focusing on a particular topic. And then for gold award,
It's just one.
it's, well, you're the manager.
Yeah.
But you can still get other people to help, though, right?
Of course, yeah. You can have
Okay.
like a big team, but
Okay.
it's one Girl Scout that's basically leading her own process, her own journey.
And how did you get to the point where you wanted to earn or you were ready to earn your gold?
Yeah, so like as I said, when I started the bronze award back in like 4th and 5th grade, we were taught like about the bronze, and then you can get silver, and then even you can get a gold award. And I've always wanted to like push my limits, and I was like, yeah, one day I want to earn a gold award.
Yes.
And then when I did my bronze award and I did my silver award, I really liked
I can do this.
yeah, I was like I was inspired to like keep going, because every time, like whether it was like cats and dogs or like people, it was still an impact on the community around me, and I wanted to keep doing that because I thought that was really it's always going to be important to keep doing that, and it's a great skill to have. So with that, I decided to start the gold award.
Cool.
In in 9th grade, or maybe like 10th. Yeah, 10th.
Okay, I'm wondering, like, what is the window?
Yeah,
or
it's definitely like much more open than for bronze and silver.
Okay.
For gold award, you can either start in like 9th, 10th, or 11th grade. I think some people start in 12th, but it might be too late by then. Yeah, but
it would be
anyway,
hard because the gold award, you need
plenty of
personally
time.
you need to put in at least 80 hours of work.
Yes.
So you kind of have to find a project where the scope would be enough to fill 80 hours.
Yeah.
So if you started your senior year,
Yeah,
that would be tough. It could be done.
It could be done, yeah, but it would be tough.
But it would be
sure.
tough, especially with college applications and all that other stuff. So how did you go about determining the subject area? Because, you know, like you mentioned before, you could do it on anything.
Yeah.
And the world is a really big place.
That's true. So for the topic, honestly, I was confused for a while, because I was like, if it's just me, I don't want to set my expectations too high, but I also don't want to set them too low. But I also have to have something that interests me, and I want to be creative with it, something that nobody's done.
You don't want to get bored.
Yeah, exactly. and so what I did was I looked at prior Girl Scouts who have made impacts before.
Oh, okay.
And there's like a ton of different girls who like they did like these little presentations, like 1-minute presentations explaining their gold award on the Girl Scout website. So I kind of just like looked through the videos, and then I got a good hang of that. Basically, the common theme with all the Girl Scouts is that they picked a topic that they truly were interested in. Like it was something that they saw themselves doing, like future in the future as a career, and it was something that impacted a community that they felt close to them.
Okay.
So I focused on those two things, and to me, a community that's close to me, because I'm Guyanese, was my family back in Guyana.
Oh, okay.
So I wanted to focus on somehow impacting that community, but also impacting like communities in Massachusetts, because that's
well, because if you were just looking at Guyana, that would be kind of a long distance challenge.
Yeah, so I wanted to open it up and make it more broad in that sense. And then the second thing, something that interests me, which I've always loved science, but and more specifically, I've always been interested in like cardiology and cardiovascular diseases, because a lot of my family members have had cardiovascular diseases.
Oh, wow, okay.
Especially back in Guyana, because there's a lot of like poor heart health due to like lack of like income, and poor diets that are necessary for having good heart health. So it's always been a thing.
Access to health care play a role as well? Okay.
It plays a big role, especially in Guyana.
Okay.
And where my family's from is a very rural part, so there's not a lot of hospitals around there. But yeah, like I could tell you, like one of my family members right now just got out of open heart surgery, so it's been like a very prominent thing.
Okay.
For
so
us.
You're aware of the good, the bad, and the kind of scary.
So I've always wanted to learn more about my family in that sort of sense, and then I also know that like cardiovascular diseases are something that affects many people in the world, like millions of people each year, and it's always been a prominent thing. So I wanted to focus on something that would be impactful to everybody around me as well. Even if I just started with something little, I could expand it into a bigger idea.
I love it.
And that's basically how I got my idea for the Gold Award.
Cool. So now that you have the idea, now what?
So this was the hard part, because I was like, what exactly could I do that would be different? And I was like, I kind of like toyed around with it a little. I had like
Now, did you have any guidance at all?
yeah, I had like a ton of guidance. Like I think we mentioned like in this like a workshop, which was very helpful. It's like a required thing when you're writing your proposal to be submitted to the Girl Scout Council before they approve that you should start your Gold Award now.
So kind of like, you know, I haven't done this yet because my Girl Scout troop is like getting ready to work for gold. So there's a like an orientation workshop type thing.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to it in a minute, but there's also like a whole proposal writing. Mm-hmm. So the first workshop that you're talking about now is just kind of like how you take that concept of heart health and cardiovascular disease and how you transform it into something tangible?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, with the orientation one that you're talking about, it was basically like forming your idea, your topic into like something like more tangible, something that you could like work with and that would impact a bigger community. So this led me to think like social media is really prominent as always, and so I wanted to get my idea out via social media, which I have my own Instagram for my project, and my Instagram leads to a website and a TikTok, basically with like posts about just general heart facts, general heart diseases that people could go through and swipe and just like read about them. I also have ways to advocate for yourself in the healthcare system.
Oh, okay.
So it's I kind of think it's like, it's developing as I go. Like I started off with like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a social media page and I'm gonna teach people like that. I'm gonna make presentations about having good heart health, and
now are your presentations online, or do you do like at schools, or combination of both?
Yeah, my presentations, I started one in Guyana because I wanted to tackle one in Guyana first, and I was there last summer for vacation.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So like, wow.
So I was like, I gotta do it now. Like I gotta start this now. And
no time like the present.
Yeah. So I started the presentations there, and I bought like these stress balls, these heart health bracelets, and there's an orphanage that is really close to my house in Guyana. So my family and I, we do these things like where we basically we fundraise some money, and we like cook up some food and then we send it to the orphanage. So we did that for a day, and after that I gave them the presentation there, and they were all kids that were really young, so I kept it like really basic, but I also like taught them stuff that they had never heard about before.
Ooh,
so even
like, I'm curious,
yeah.
like what?
It was just like general heart facts, like how your heart works and why it's important to keep your heart healthy.
Okay.
Especially in Guyana, like as the kids grow older, I know that there's like a stigma for going to the doctor. It's something that even my family struggles with a lot. So I wanted to instill in them at a young age that it is important to see a doctor, and your heart is very important. So even if they got like, if they'd understood nothing out of that conversation, at least that the minimum thing that they would understand is that your heart is very important. You should focus on having a good diet, which is like fruits and vegetables, good proteins, less fats, and also going to the doctor regularly. And if you have pains, like that's important to go to the doctor. So and you would think that like in America, because it's a more developed country, like of course everybody knows that, like, but in Guyana it's the first time these kids are ever hearing something like that. So just being told that was a very big thing.
And coming from somebody not necessarily their age, but not a parent, not a teacher, not an elder. Yeah. It's like peer to peer almost.
Yeah. I felt like it would have impacted them more that way, in that sense. And I know that it definitely made an impact because my aunt that actually got out of her open heart surgery recently, she was there with me as I did the presentation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I actually didn't know that she had she was struggling with the cardiovascular disease, but she told me that like if she knew that when she was younger, if she was told that, she would have definitely paid more attention to taking care of her body.
Oh, okay.
And she was like I understood that everything you said, and I think it's good that you taught them about this, because I had, even as old as I am, I had never been taught anything about that. And so it's just good that they're learning this from a very young age.
Oh,
so
great.
right off the bat, I knew that what I was doing was impacting people.
So that's like the advocacy, you know.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned earlier, and I don't know if this plays into your presentation, but you mentioned something about advocating for yourself.
Yes.
And is that part of?
Yeah, I like to think it's a definitely one of the most important parts of my project, because a lot of the time, you'll get like, what I see with a lot about my family is that, and this is for like a lot of people too, like you'll have like minor chest pains or something, and people will be afraid to go to the doctor because of long wait times, like insurance, like it costs a ton of money. There's like so many reasons why people don't want to go to the doctor,
Right.
but like a little chest pain could turn into a heart attack. Like,
Right.
and you don't know that because you just don't know.
And
And
you did
so,
not go to med school.
yeah, exactly. So with my project, I not only would I be like teaching people like, oh, these are the signs of a heart attack, like you need to know that if you're feeling this, like it's good to go to the doctor and get it checked out, but also when you're at the doctor, what questions do you ask? What do you tell them?
Oh, okay.
Like for people who haven't gone to college or and stuff like that, like what would you tell the doctor? Like how do you talk to the doctor? Because a lot of times when people go to the doctor's like telling them stuff like, oh, you have this X, Y, and Z disease, but they have no idea what they're talking about. So basically on my Instagram page, I have a series of posts that talk about advocating for yourself at the doctor as well.
Oh, okay.
Which includes like, one, scheduling regular appointments,
Okay.
doing your research ahead of time, and basically asking them questions to help you understand what you're going through, because at the end of the day, it's your health that you have to take care of, and it's up to you to advocate and have the confidence to make sure that
That's really powerful. Wow.
you're taking care of yourself.
And that right there also translates to not just heart issues, but anything. Cool. Okay, so you've given this presentation. You have the Instagram account. How did you take the presentation in Guyana and bring it back here? Have you done that yet, or is that
so I'm actually in the process of that. So after Guyana, because that was in August of last year, I started 11th grade, and it was around that time that I started my own school club, which was it's called Cardiology Club.
Oh, cool.
And basically, it's an extension of it's like sort of an extension of my Gold Award, in which we can do fundraisers at school, and basically through my club, we're doing the fundraisers. We're gaining money for my project, and basically we're using this money to create like mini first aid kits, basically with like just like personal protective equipment and like CPR pamphlets, just your regular stuff like Band-Aids, ointment, to send down to some places in Guyana that my family can distribute them to. But also, like I said, I wanted to impact Massachusetts as well. So I wanted to focus on low-income places in Massachusetts, because those are likely the places, as research suggests, that people are affected by cardiovascular diseases the most. So I'm in the process, right, of collecting these bags and purchasing them and assembling them. But once I have them in the coming months, we're going to the cardiology club at school, and we're going to do these presentations at like probably middle schools in low-income areas of Massachusetts.
Oh, wow.
And then we're gonna probably like contact some our research association board in my town to do an event where we can pass out more of the kits, the mini first aid kits.
Now I'm tempted. Can we back up a little bit? Yeah. You started your own after-school club in cardiology.
Yes.
That right there seems like a gold award to me. But tell me more about that. How did you get students interested? How did you get the administration involved? And how did you find an advisor? I mean, is it just like the biology teacher at school, or is there like a cardiologist that's willing to come and donate? My mind is blown.
Yeah, let me know if I miss any of your questions. But to start off,
Just the process of starting your own after-school club.
the reason I started it was because after doing the workshop with Girl Scouts, and I realized that a big problem with my project is that it needed to be sustainable, and I had no idea how I was going to make it sustainable and long term. So they suggested like we see a lot of people like make clubs, and that's keeps it sustainable because year after year you're running your own club, and then when you graduate you have like your own officers, and then they continue the club after you graduate. And that was something that really interested me, so I was like, I'm gonna start that in 11th grade.
Cool.
So I basically had the idea, and I was like I'll just make a cardiology club because we already have like a healthcare occupations club in my school. So I made this one kind of like more specialized to go along with the Girl Scout project that I'm doing. And so I had this idea, and I talked to my friends about it, and my friends are also all interested in healthcare. Even though it's not cardiology, it's still something that they're interested in.
Oh yeah.
And so I had like a lot of people and supporters to help me out, and who wanted to be in the club. So I had thankfully like some people that wanted.
Gotta love that support system.
Yes, wanted to support me and wanted to be in that club with me. And then I found. So, like I said, I'm interested in business and medicine, and when I started in my freshman year, I took Intro to Business, and I found out that my business teacher actually was on track to be a doctor.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
So
mind blown.
She was kind of like someone like me. So she is interested in business now, but she had like some medical knowledge. So I thought that was interesting, and I knew that she's really organized and really structured. So I wanted to have her join the process with me, because she also leads our school DECA club, and I knew her from that, and I knew that she would help me a lot and do a great job with this. So I had my advisor, I had my members, and then I basically like created my own mini like doc, like my mini proposal to like I think it was maybe my vice principal, of my school, and then I sent that to him, and he approved it, and he thought it was interesting. And so at our activities fair in school, like where a bunch of clubs showcased what they'd be doing for the year, and we gathered some more members, and I taught them about what our project would be like, what our club would entail for the year, and that's how I got my members and why.
That's pretty quick, because I'm guessing like Burlington High School has their activity fair, but that's usually like the first or second week of school. And if you went to Guyana in August, you said?
Yes.
And you came back and figured all of this out within a month?
No, sorry. So basically, I think, so at the end of 10th grade, it was probably like, it was
still
like May
pretty
or June.
Intense, but okay.
I was beginning to start the Gold Award. I think I officially submitted it like right after 10th grade. I finished, but I was like, whether or not I get this, when I apply for the Gold Award proposal, I'm going to start a school club because I just think it's interesting to do anyways.
Yeah.
Still create an impact. And so I like did the proposal and the planning and prepping before I ended 10th grade, and I had created the club then. But then when I came back from Guyana in August, I had like September to work on like details, like posters to present at activities fair, and that's So it definitely helped that I started earlier on, but
it still seems kind of quick, pulling it all together and getting that support system and getting approval from your school itself. Okay, so that plan is in place. So you have that sustainability issue. You're making the health and wellness, I guess, would you call it, health and wellness kits to provide to people in need. Tell me more about those presentations.
So the beginning of our presentation, especially when I presented at the orphanage, it was talking about it was like a slide on health advocacy. Like I wanted to start off just teaching them about that. And then I included like a portion specific to the kids in the orphanage that I thought would be important for them, and it was basically telling them to pursue um like their dreams. And I was like, science is really interesting. I hope that I can influence you to get into science via this presentation, because it's a very great career to enter and to aspire and join into and always be interested in.
You can make such a difference.
Yeah, so that was definitely something I wanted to tell them, to inspire them about. And then I moved on to teaching them general facts about the heart, like which way blood flows, deoxygenated blood, oxygenated blood, what the heart does for our body, how many times it beats in a day.
I don't think I could count that high.
Yeah, and it was all just like general stuff, and then that led me to like what happens when something goes wrong in the heart.
Okay.
Like what if it stops beating, or you have a blockage in a vein or an artery.
Okay.
And that led to like the importance of healthy eating, because when you eat healthy, you don't get the blockages or as many. And if you exercise, you also like decrease your risk at getting like many cardiovascular diseases. And so that was still like a good skill to teach people, like even the kids in the orphanages about. And also like I ended the presentations with basically like how to register for your doctor's appointments, or like why you need to register for doctor's appointments, and all of it kind of like just ties back to the central theme. And then there's like a Google form that I created for when I'm done presenting. So they'll take the form, answer a couple questions on what they learned.
Oh,
and basically I take their feedback to understand how I need to improve my presentation for next time, and I understand how much they learned from what I said, if I presented it well enough for them to
Now,
understand.
with Girl Scouts, is there a certain number of workshops that you need to present, or how do you know when you're done?
Yeah, so basically it's kind of, there's not like a certain number I'd say, but you have to do enough for you, I guess, like like
for
to go
you
along
to say
with
you're
the
done.
project, like to say that you made an impact,
Okay.
and that you've done an impact. So for the workshops, I said by the time like I finished the Gold Award, I want at least 3. So the orphanage was a big one for me, and then I'm going to do at least one at a middle school before June ends. And then in the summer I will have an event where I can give away the kits, and then just give little mini presentations to people that come by and see our booth or whatever. And by that time, shortly after that, I'd like end.
Transition to somebody else doing the whole sustainable thing. Cool. I had a thought, and it totally left. 2 things. I want to learn more about the proposal workshop that you had to do, but also based on your knowledge of cardiology, I think your troop leader told me you had an internship at a Boston hospital?
It was at Dana-Farber Cancer Institute.
Tell me more about that.
So it actually has nothing to do with cardiology.
But still, 10th grade high school internship in a hospital?
Yeah, so
what made you go that route?
So basically it's called Yesterday Care, and I wanted to, like during my summer, I wanted to do something where I could have an impact and like learn more about cancer research, because it's always been like a topic that's interesting to me, and it's something that I've always wanted to learn more about. And so I found the Yesterday Care program, and it's dedicated to students who aren't present as much in science fields, like the types of races that you wouldn't see in science fields rather, and people who are at low income, so you wouldn't regularly be able to get into a science field, because it's very hard to get into, like money wise, with the education and schooling that it takes. So it basically seeks out students like that, and I decided that I was gonna apply because I found that interesting to me, and it was specific to me as a student. And so I applied, and thankfully I was accepted.
Yay!
And I attended that summer.
Did you have to like go every day?
Yeah, it was basically like a job at that point. I was getting paid. And
even better. Cool.
Yeah, and so I joined a microbiology cancer lab. And when I started out, I had no idea what I was learning about. Like I still am kind of confused. I was like toggling with terms like CGLRs, Drosophila melon gas.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was like, what's going on? But definitely something that it taught me was like perseverance,
Okay.
because they'd hand me like these articles and they'd be like, just try your best, like read through it, like learn our research, and then we'll like teach you what else you need to know before we start you in the lab, like doing hands-on work. And so I basically like go through those research papers and like get really nitpicky, like highlight every word and to trying to find them. And basically all these skills helped with my knowledge of like perseverance for the gold award later on. But I was kind of like toggling the gold award and the internship at the same time. So I wanted to relate the two. Yeah. Oh, but actually also before I say anything about that, because the program was geared towards teaching kids in lower income communities and also people who races that you wouldn't see a lot in these scientific communities, it was about like pushing students like me to have science related careers later on, to change the science industry and make it more diverse. And we'd have like a lot of presentations talking about like the effects of the unequal distribution of race in science researching and how that's affected us and how it's affected the healthcare industry. And a lot of colored people aren't presented as much, and because of that, a lot of times that colored people go to the doctors, they're often diagnosed incorrectly because there's not enough research done on those types of groups. So basically, Yes for Cure steps up and decides to train more people who can make a difference for communities like that, as well as like having our own like internship going on the side. So that was definitely something that inspired me, because I didn't realize how many people, like racially diverse people, didn't have the same opportunities in the American healthcare system, or like were at disadvantage by the American healthcare system. And it made me want to seek out like low-income communities, like changing low-income communities and starting with low-income communities for my Gold Award project. That's kind of like where I got that idea from, like why I wanted to target that specific area, because those are the areas that are most affected by the healthcare industry. And so that's one way my internship helped me for that. And then I also I met a doctor in cardiology, and she basically, her name is Dr. Anju Noria. She was like really inspiring to me.
Now, was this through your internship that you met her?
So I had my mentor, Dr. Kranzush. I basically talked to him and I was like, well, I need to interview a couple people via my like internship. It was like a whole mini project on the side about their career and what led them to that. And he was like, well, you're interested in cardiology, I can hook you up with somebody in cardiology. So I went down to Brigham's and Cardiovascular Center, and I met Dr. Anju Noria, and basically she does both. Like, she's a cardio oncology researcher for half the year, and then the other half of the year she does clinic, where she goes and sees patients for cardiovascular diseases.
Wow.
So even through her, I learned a lot more about the field of cardiology, and it gave me a lot of inspiration and a lot of knowledge about the field. And she kind of like directed me towards some points to focus in my Gold Award, and she like told me more about like cardiovascular diseases and stuff like that. So that was just one way that my internship also helped me through my Gold Award. Yeah.
So my understanding of Gold Award is you need to work with somebody on the Gold Award committee, and you also need to work with like a subject matter expert. Is this doctor your subject matter expert, or like an advisor to your Gold Award project, or did you have to find somebody else?
I wouldn't say that she was an advisor, but I definitely had like
I don't know what the whole concept is, so please correct me.
I had my project advisor, like my helping me, like my business teacher. She was only helping me.
Oh, that's right.
And then I had my Gold Award advisor, who is we did like a couple of Zoom meetings, and she would tell me like, okay, well, it needs to be sustainable. How about we do this? Like, how are you gonna get money? Like how are you gonna do all these things? So she definitely helped me with like organization and stuff like that.
Okay.
But the cardiology aspect, I did like a ton of researching on my own.
Okay.
And a lot of that like helped me to understand what I had to know
Cool.
from the use of my project.
Now we talked, and I don't know if we covered this or not, because we did talk about the workshop kind of understanding the scope of Gold Award, but then there's a proposal writing. Is that the same thing, or was there a different?
Yeah, it's a different workshop than
Okay.
the orientation workshop. It's much more like extensive, I'd say.
Okay.
And it was very helpful to me because when I kind of like, I want to say I procrastinated my proposal because I had the idea. I had the idea and I know I wanted to do it, but when I saw how many steps the proposal was to fill out, I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Okay,
like, that's
how many steps are there? Do I want to know? Do you remember?
I don't remember, but it was definitely like it was quite a few pages long to fill out, and it was something online and stuff.
And this is even before you start the project.
Yeah, it was like.
Okay.
But when I go back to think about it, it was very helpful. But yeah, I'm glad I did the workshop because basically when you went to the workshop, they separated kids into like little groups, and they were like, okay, like what are your ideas? You can just tell us, and then we can like tweak them for you and tell you how you can like start to tackle your Gold Award in your proposal, which was helpful because again, I had like I was telling you, I had like a problem with sustainability, so that's kind of like where I finalized my
everybody has
issue.
an issue.
Yeah, they definitely say that a lot. Everybody has an issue with that. But yeah, the proposal they then went through like every aspect, and a lot of it was just like it was like defining the scope of your project, like how you plan to get the necessary funds that you need, and like who you would ask to help you, like who you needed, like what kind of how many hours you think you're gonna do for each thing, like
chapter,
yeah, like and
I know it's not chapter,
like how many points you're trying to like tackle. So for me, I guess they were the main aspects. I have three main aspects, like my social media presence, my presentations, and then the mini kits. Yeah, so those were the three things that I highlighted in my proposal. But before that, it was kind of just like a mess. Like I wanted to do all these sorts of things, and like I didn't know what to do. But when I did as I was doing my proposal, I remember I sat down in a cafe for like 4 hours with a cup of coffee, and I was going through, and I was like, this seems much more organized. And so yeah, it's kind of like it's like a step-by-step process.
Okay.
So you start from something small, and then you develop it more and more and more.
Okay.
Through the proposal. So, and that was what I learned through the workshop as well. Like these are different parts. Like, and then they gave us like a rubric. Like, make sure you're answering this.
Oh, I heard about that rubric. It sounds kind of scary.
It wasn't like really stressed out because it was the proposal. Like so like and at the proposal like once you submit it to the council and they look over it, like they can always send it back and say like, oh, just tweak this and then it's good to go. Like or they could just accept it and stuff like that. So
just accept it, you know.
Yeah, and you can start after that. But yeah, so it was really extensive, but it was like it was very, I guess, like process oriented in a way. So the workshop definitely helped a lot with,
because that's kind of else what I'm thinking is there are a lot of areas of, you know, professional life and different careers where you do have to write proposals, whether you end up being grant writing or project proposals or whatever. Having been through that process, do you think that there are skills that can be transferred from the Gold Award process writing to anything? You know, how to buy a house, or how to, well, not buy a house, but like professionally.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that because at the time when I was writing my proposal was when I started my lab internship at Dana-Farber, and like I was writing my own proposal and I was talking to my mentor who was also like he was running our lab, so he has to like send out tons of proposals daily. Like he says he sits in his office and he just like grinds out these proposals, and I can only imagine like they're much more extensive than the Gold Award.
Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not actually. And like a lot of times you get rejected and stuff like that, but like just to know that my mentor was using like proposals like to like literally fund
You're
his
like, wow,
research.
this is a real skill.
I was like, yeah, like so maybe
college essays and college applications. I mean,
yeah, it really just goes in hand with everything. Like, who knows? Maybe I'll be a researcher and I'll have to do proposals. Like, it could really help with anything. It's just that process of going through it and like having the dedication, like stick through it and develop your understanding and your idea and your creativity. It really helps you with like anything. You can apply it to anything, really.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Those transferable skills.
Yes.
Okay, I just glanced at my notes and I want to go back to the mini kits. The bags or the backpacks or the first aid stuff like the Band-Aids and all that. You mentioned that the high school club, the cardiology club, is raising money. How are they doing that?
Yeah, so in September, my friend and I last year, before I like really had like a big team, it was just my friend and I.
Okay.
We have this thing called Bedford Day in my town, and basically a lot of like school clubs or just like organizations in Bedford, they go and they hold up a booth and they sell like little things to get money. So my small club and I, we held a booth for the cardiology club, and we sold like little heart health bracelets and stress balls, and then we did these henna designs, which are like little like flowers on the hand, and it's kind of like
cool.
it stays on for like 2-ish weeks a little.
Okay.
And my friend,
did you hand write the henna?
Yeah, we handed it.
Cool.
My friend's like really good at like
one of
all
my
these
Girl
artistic
Scouts
things.
did that at our
and they're
cultural
really pretty.
festival.
And that was really successful. Like, I didn't think it was gonna be like that popular, but we had lines of people, and it was like so people felt so bad for us. Like, we had some people from the crowd like coming in like, do you need help? Like, we'll just work for free. And we were like, oh, like sure. Like, thank you so much. And so from that I got like almost like over $300.
Wow.
And we weren't even there for that long, so it was that already helped us a lot. And then during the year I was like, well, we need to do some more fundraisers like in school. And so we used some of that money to do like candy fundraisers like during Halloween. And
candy and heart health.
I know.
Have a chocolate bar.
Yeah, I realized that pretty early on, but I was like,
no, that's okay. My brother was he donates blood, on a regular basis, and sometimes, once you reach the certain level, they give you a T-shirt. No, they gave him a gift certificate to go to Burger King for a Whopper. I'm like, the heart health thing and having a Whopper, cheeseburger and fries. Okay. I'm sorry. I digress.
No. Yeah, it's funny though.
So the candy drive.
Yeah, so we did one of those in October. Didn't go as well as I thought it would, but it was actually a good learning experience because I realized what I needed to improve for next time. And so during Valentine's Day, we did another fundraiser, and this time we sold like little keychain teddy bears, and they were so much cuter, and we sold like as
and
much
healthier
as we purchased.
for you.
Yeah, exactly. And we sold everything that we had, and that really like helped us further to get the kits. So now that I have this money, we're purchasing the supplies that we'll need to assemble for the kits.
So administratively, how did you get the teddy bears or the candy bars or the stress balls? Is that like through your DECA connections, or how do you find the inventory for your fundraiser?
Yeah, so I mean, like I would just go on like websites and like find like little things that
I wasn't
like,
sure if like you customized it with.
No, we didn't customize them. But yeah.
And with all the money that you're raising, is the school and or club able to manage the funds like in a bank account or something? Okay.
We have a school bank account, so every time I need to use money for the club, I have to purchase it myself, and then the school fund refunds me. But yeah, that's basically how it goes.
Because I'm just like the administrative paperwork and trying to balance
it's like
that
we have to
just
submit a form every time we like purchase every item. But yeah, it's really organized.
Cool. So, 2 more questions, because we are getting close to being out of time. I'll ask both now, and then we'll go back. And what advice would you give a younger girl, like second grader? Why join Girl Scouts? And then what would you tell, or how would you advise a Girl Scout work for your gold, go for the gold? So why join Girl Scouts?
Like I did, I think it's great for kids to join Girl Scouts in like second grade or like even earlier on as a daisy, just because you get to be with your friends. Like there's a lot of things that you can do as a troop, like as being strong friends, like together, and it's much easier to like do stuff together. Like we did so many swaps, and that was so fun for me because I've always been like really creative and artistic, so I loved doing that. And we did like a lot of sewing. We always did like those quilt squares, and I think that
cool.
It just teaches you like different skills, like skills you never expected to learn, like you wouldn't learn on by yourself. Like sewing, I learned from Girl Scouts.
Okay.
You just like learn all these things, and for like a younger Girl Scouts, it's like a Girl Scout, it would be really important to join just so you can hang out with your friends and you can like learn the value of friendship and everything like that. And then you get to start like the journeys, and you get to like go to different places, interview people, do little like programs, go camping, and camping is always fun.
We never talked about camping. But...
Yeah, and there's just like a lot of activities you can do through Girl Scouts, and definitely I would encourage anybody to join, even if it's like later on, like beyond that. And then I would say like for these awards, like the bronze, silver, and gold award, I would start with the bronze award. Like it's definitely like, because you do it in 4th or 5th grade, so it's like when you're first hit with it, you're like, that's a lot of work. Like a lot of people don't want to do it earlier on, and I can like understand that.
A lot of adults don't want to do it.
I can understand that. Like even our leader, like it was hard to like control like a bunch of kids, like, and trying to get them on track on one thing. It was
focus, people.
Even for me, it was so hard to like focus on it. And there were some days I'd be like, I don't want to do it. Like I just want to have fun. But like when you look back at your accomplishments, even at that age, you're like, it was definitely worth it. And I'm so glad that I did and I stuck through it. Because you get to do it with your friends too, so it makes it much easier. And then slowly, like as you said, like in the silver award, they cut down on how many people you work, how many like Girl Scouts you work in on the project with. And so like all that like makes you like practice how to
like
handle more
dress
responsibility,
rehearsal kind of,
and and like creating things of your own, like having your own ideas and executing things by yourself. And it's all like really fun to do. Like you get to start with your own idea, and you get to execute it, and then you look back at it and you're like, wow, I did all of these things. Like honestly, it's just a great thing to brag about. Knowing that you
great
helped,
resume builders.
Yeah. And the gold award is really beneficial because you get to help a big community as much as you want to, and you get that more knowledge than most people that aren't in Girl Scouts. They would never know that all of this exists beyond them. But yeah, as a Girl Scout, you definitely have like this more opportunities and more materials to learn more about the world around you, and you're pushed like constantly to impact others and help your community. Whether you're not doing a bronze or silver or gold award, like even through journeys you do that, but I would encourage any Girl Scout to do the bronze, silver, or gold award, and start like through bronze award.
So it's not just a saying, we do make the world a better place.
Yeah, you actually do.
I know that sounds really goofy, but
no, you actually do make the world a better place. Even if you think you have like little impacts, it's always just it's still an impact, and it's always important that we focus on impacting the world around us. But yeah.
Cool. Well, best of luck to you. Thank you so much for joining me. I love your enthusiasm for Girl Scouts because it's someone who shares my enjoyment. Shares my enthusiasm as well. So keep me posted on, and keep all of us posted on your progress, both in Girl Scouting as well as career-wise. And I also want to thank everyone at home for tuning in, and I hope you have enjoyed and have been inspired by the next generation to live a much healthier and active and keep plugging away. Have a wonderful evening. Good night. See you around town.